All right, guys, back to school. My daughter started, and a lot of your kids have started last week. We have a few. I saw the back to school stuff this morning, so we are in full swing, right? So we're entering into a whole new schedule. So whether you're a teacher, you're a parent with kids going back to school, or maybe you're even going back to school or starting something new for yourself right now. Either way, it's a big change happening right now. And often we forget that we need to adjust our eating routines and our exercise schedule so that they don't fall by the wayside when we experience shifts like this. Now, if you've ever started a diet or exercise program and things went really well for a while, you were in a really good groove, and then suddenly, almost inexplicably, things just fell apart at some point, there's a good chance that you didn't think about the shifts like this in advance and made some adjustments along the way. So that's exactly what I help women in my online weight loss program do. And when they don't do this, and there are times when they don't, we can point out that their results speak for themselves, right? So all their progress in former months stalls, usually around 6 weeks, people lose that initial motivation, and if these foundational plans aren't in place and we're not keeping an eye on these changes, things can really fall apart, right? And even things like they had a really solid exercise program going and they felt really empowered and strong, and suddenly it just feels like more of a strained effort. And that's because these shifts, no matter how big or how small, can really affect not only when you're fitting in time for this stuff, but your motivation and your drive to do them as well. And then really what happens is it sort of snowballs into the decline from there. They don't feel as energized, they don't make as much of an effort, and they really do feel more disappointed in themselves, for not following through, right? And they say, oh, well, I was feeling so great, like, why did I stop? I'm kicking myself now because now I feel like I need to start over with everything. And then they go into a little bit of blame as well, as most of us do, right? So they wish there was just more time in the day. They wish that they were feeling more motivated, right? But from my experience, I know that neither of those things would have kept their program going, right? And so these are things that we talk about along the way, and how I coach my clients is, the truth is, life is full of these little twists and turns, and unless you are keeping these things under wraps and really planning for this stuff, it can very easily fall apart, especially if this is stuff that is new for you, new changes, new eating habits, getting into exercises you've never done before, all of that. So think about this. We've got school starting. We've got a shift to colder weather happening. It was 45 degrees when I woke up this morning. I was not very happy about that. We've got light changes. There's a whole host of holidays coming up. And really every week there could be some sort of hiccup that keeps a perfect plan from coming together, right? So if you're waiting for one of those perfect, calm weeks, stop waiting. It's never going to happen. There's always going to be something in your way, right? So in my program, what we do is create these solid foundational plans, really just basic things for building this consistency. And we're staying flexible. We're assessing whether or not this plan is working for you on a weekly basis. So that way, if you're getting frustrated at the end of the week that you're not seeing results, how do we adjust so that we can see things happening next week, right? And of course, we're planning for these obstacles ahead, and we're staying aware of even really slight shifts week to week that might affect that routine. And it may not be big things like going back to school. It may just be slight shifts in things that you're not even really aware of that are happening in the meantime, right? Now, does it seem like some people just have this stuff together in this department, this planning and organizing? You've got, that friend down the road who is always out walking no matter what, that friend on Facebook who you've been trolling for a while and you wonder why she hasn't gained an ounce in 20 years since high school. She's got 6 kids. How is she doing that? She's running a business, all of these other things. How is she still maintaining her weight and her health and all of that in there? So what I can guarantee is that those people that you're stalking, that you're hating, that you're somewhat admiring in the background, all really have one thing in common, right? And what that is they found ways to be consistent with those efforts. And guess what? You can do that too. So this type of organization and planning and keeping this consistency is a skill that is learned and refined over time. It is not something that you're born with, and so it gives you hope that you can actually learn a new skill, basically like going back to school yourself and refining these details over time, so that the more bumps that happen along the way, the less off track your plan gets, right? We want to make sure that you are doing that. So if you are ready to get consistent, you want to lose the weight and feel good, just as you would on, your best effort days. Maybe something happened in the spring and then ultimately fell apart. If you want to have that good motivation and that good groove consistently long term, so you can actually reach that final goal that you've been after, it is time to make moves on this, right? So I'm accepting a few new women into my online program for September. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about what that entails, you can comment interested below, or you can send me a DM with the same thing, just to strike up a conversation and get a little bit more details on this, okay? So I'm gonna leave you with this. Success that isn't dependent on the time of year is completely possible, right? Let me show you how to do that. I hope to see you in my inbox soon.